All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight, live here on Coach Eli 2, authentic live streams, the most positive place on the internet. I just took my allergy meds, so give me a second. Sorry for the unprofessionalism at the beginning of the show. You never know when it's just going to, come out. You know, when you have allergies, you got to just do what you got to do. But anyway, everything's back to normal now. How are you all doing tonight? Tonight is Thursday, December 15th, 2022. And wow, we're getting so close to Christmas. And my birthday is 2 days away. I'll share more about that in just a few here. But before we get to all of that and tonight's great topic, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it looks like it absolutely has. Let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure everything is rolling smoothly as usual. And it absolutely is. All right. Tonight's show is a subscribers only chat. I was going to make it members only chat, but I said the heck with it. You know, I'm feeling the holiday spirit. My birthday's a couple days away. So I'm opening it up to everyone. As long as you subscribe, you can start chatting right away. As long as you're not blocked here and you respect my rules, which will pop up the first time you chat here after you do subscribe. And you also follow YouTube's community guidelines and terms of service. So that is that. But please consider purchasing your $2.99 membership package at least. So when I do members-only live chats on my public live streams, you'll be able to chat then. Or purchase the $4.99 package and you'll get everything, even the pre-recorded members-only content or live stream replay content that I put to members only. All right. So a few things before we get to tonight's topic. First of all, we are less than 2 days away from my 49th birthday, and I just want to remind you all, like I've been doing so all week, this Saturday, December 17th, I will be doing 2 live streams. The first one will be in the morning. It'll be a walk. It'll be sometime around, probably around 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I will then take a little bit of a break and probably have have an early dinner with my lady. And then sometime in the mid to late afternoon or early evening on Saturday, I will be doing Coach Eli's 49th birthday bash. I will be bringing my lady on the panel with me, and anyone else that wants to pop on. Maybe, Holly's Haunting and Happenings channel can pop on. Maybe Sandra Palacio can pop on. Maybe Lewis Fuller can pop on. California Forward Outdoors, and anyone else that we know, you're going to be more than welcome to pop on. And we're just going to celebrate my 49th birthday and talk about, how 2022 was and get everyone's opinions on that and make it a really fun and interesting show. So, put that down on your calendar. This Saturday is going to be respectfully and humbly, well, not respectfully, well, I do respect myself, but that's selfish, right? Humbly speaking, this Saturday is going to be all about my birthday. So if you want to help me celebrate it, please keep your Saturday open. We're going to have a great time here. And that is that. Besides that, tomorrow, my lady and I are going to be heading down to her neck of the woods to get the last few tidbits of whatever's remaining at her place. We're going to head out there, in the, early morning, maybe mid-morning around there. And probably going to have some lunch over there with some of her friends and spend a little time there. We're going to head back in the early evening, and I will be doing just one show tomorrow. There will not be a Walking with Purpose stream tomorrow. I'll be doing one live stream when we get back for about an hour or so, and I'm not quite sure if my lady will be joining me or not. But even if she doesn't join me tomorrow, she will be on the show for my birthday. Obviously, she's not going to miss that one, right, baby, if you're listening right now. So that is that. just another thing, I want to pay props once again, as you see on your screen here on your left. There we go, your left. We have $60 in donations today so far. That came from my earlier Walking with Purpose stream. I want to thank Coach Eli once again for his $10 super chat. He wished me a happy early birthday. Thank you so much once again for that, Coach Eli. And once again, Mr. Tumnus came into my stream earlier today and donated another $50 super sticker. Now the total's up to $500, and I'm like, wow, man. I'm just like, I really wish I knew who this person was, because I just really want to personally thank them. But anyway, thank you to the both of you. And it's been a great month. I'll put it to you that way. My lady and I have also been working our side hustle. We've been bringing in some extra money. It's been kind of a rough and tight year financially for her and I, but things are getting back on track. And got to tell you, folks, we've been so happy. We're more happy than we've ever been, and we want you to share along, with us in our happiness. We want you to be happy too. So that is that. So let's get to tonight's topic here, because this is probably going to take about maybe an hour and 20 minutes or so to go through. I'll take one break in the middle. This is a topic that's just very, very near and dear to my heart. And the topic is why the millennial market is most difficult to penetrate. One more time, why the millennial market is most difficult to penetrate. Now, I've got a great blog article that was actually written by a millennial, which is rather comical, but it made a lot of sense, and it gave me a lot more insight than I already had regarding millennials. Let me just first start off by saying I don't hate anyone, and I don't hate the millennials. Yes, I do talk a lot about the millennials because they are the most unique generation in history. Since the inception of time, they are the most unique generation in history. They're just very different with the way they communicate and what they respond to. Their work ethic is different. Their views are different than any other generation. And they're even more different than, the generation after the millennials, which is Gen Z, known as the I generation. So yeah, it's just interesting, how they're so different. And, part of my target market is the millennial market because they are aged, now they're 26 to 41, I believe. This blog I'm going to go over is very, very recent, and they have them listed as age 26 through 41. And that's a big part of my market. I'm 49 years old. I'm only 8 years older than the oldest millennial. And so we're really not that far apart. And it's just been a big challenge to try to penetrate this market where I know I can tremendously help these men and women, and same with my lady. But it just seems like these millennials just do not respond to any Gen Xers or, Gen Zers. They don't even respond to the Gen Zers, maybe a little more to the Gen Zers, but us, experienced Gen Xers and baby boomers, we could tremendously help these millennials better themselves, but they're just not open to our help. And it just seems like we're so far apart, and I really wish we could bridge the gap. So I'm going to switch on over to the browser screen right now and go over this very, very interesting article, and you'll understand more about what I'm talking about. All right. Where are we? There we are. Now, this is a little bit off here at the top for the title, but the rest of it is formatted perfectly. This was the best way I could format it so you can see it clearly on your screen. And I'll read what's cut off at the top there regarding the title. The title of this blog is Understanding Millennials in the Workforce. One more time, Understanding Millennials in the Workforce. And this is from the blog site vantagecircle.com. And the subtitle down below is Employee Engagement 6-Minute Read. I think it's a little bit longer than that, even without commentary. I think to really understand this, you would need to take about maybe 10 to 15 minutes to read it. And this is a millennial saying, okay, it's only going to take 6 minutes to read this. I understand the millennials have a very short attention span, and they speed read through things, but that's also part of the problem. You know, you can't comprehend things, in my opinion, as best as possible if you speed read through things. So that's why I'm going to slow this down here tonight and do my commentary and make the most sense out of it and try to understand it as best as possible myself. This was last updated on August 10th, 2022, so just a few months ago. All right, let us get right to it, and I'll check out the chat every few minutes. Ever since millennials have crossed the threshold of childhood, they have consistently been under the radar. That's because they put themselves under the radar. Plain and simple. With their behavior, that is. They are probably the most over-scrutinized, over-analyzed generations of all times. Excuse me, my throat again. Let me read that one more time. They are probably the most over-scrutinized, over-analyzed generations of all times. And there's a reason for that. It's because of their behavior. It's because they are so different than any other generation in history since the inception of time. Okay? Marketers term them the hardest target audience to engage. Yeah, I've been trying to penetrate them for a while in a proper and respectful way. But they're the hardest target audience to engage. And managers call them the hardest bunch to manage. Yeah, they don't want to work. They have the entitlement attitude where they want the perfect work environment that suits them, or they just won't work. If you're an employer or a manager having a tough time managing, retaining millennial employees, you're in the right place. Okay. I want to retain them on my YouTube channel and get them to engage in respectful, professional, and mature ways. But a lot of these millennials, both men and women, have severe personal maturity issues. They lack personal maturity, and let's leave it at that. They lack personal maturity. Let's be kind and leave it at that. Okay. In this blog, I'll take you through the whys and hows of understanding millennials in the workforce. Okay, let's get right to it. Okay, sounds good. Who are the millennials? Wikipedia says millennials are the individuals reaching early adulthood in the 21st century. However, different studies, magazines, and websites place millennials in slightly different age ranges. According to Newsweek magazine, the millennial generation was born between 1977 and 1994. The New York Times identified the millennials at 1976 through 1990, and Time magazine placed them between 1980 and 2000. So the range, 1977 to 2000, can be considered the broader age group of millennials. Well, I'm 73 and I'm Gen X, and it's about 8 years. So it's basically, I think 1980. 1980 is the range right there. Typically, I think it's like 1980 through 95 or 1981 through 96. But okay, let's just go with 1980 through 2000. Okay. So the range 1977 to 2000 can be considered the broader age group of millennials. Okay, all right, let's move on. Millennials, or Gen Xers, are no longer school and college goers. Well, yeah, the trend has been shifting away from college. Number one, because college has increased astronomically in price and cost, right? Why would you want to go to college and spend $200,000 to get a 4-year degree when you can get a job making more money without a degree? You know, employers are hiring people based on their willingness to work and learn the job. And a lot of these millennials, they're very tech savvy. They're more tech savvy than most other generations. And as long as they know how to use a computer and can be trained, they can get a good job making, college level money. Yeah. So why go to college? I get that. I understand that. They are not the future anymore. They are the present, and they have already taken over the workforce. Well, they're trying to control the workforce. That's my opinion. As of 2017, 56 million millennials were either working or looking for work. That makes them the largest generation in the workforce. Okay. It's high time that companies acknowledge that generation gaps do exist. Oh, yeah. Everyone, I think, acknowledges that generation gaps exist. And one of the biggest generation gaps in history is the Gen X and millennial age gap. And that's something that I've been struggling with personally and professionally. Now, I've got a woman now, but when I was single in the past, I tried to date some millennial women, and I got to tell you, man, it's just, it never worked out. I never was able to go on any second date with any millennial woman. So I've never dated a woman more than 7 years younger than me. The youngest woman I've ever dated was 7 years younger than me, and she was, tail end Gen Xer. So that says a lot there. And we'll read more about that in a little bit here. You'll find out more about that in a bit. Let's see. Millennials, the first lot to be born and raised in the digital era, naturally show traits that are different from other generations. Well, I would disagree with that. I think the Gen Xers and even some of the boomers were the early adopters of the internet. It's just the internet became very popular, and technology really started to become incredibly better during the millennial era. But I was born in 1973 as a Gen Xer, and I grew up here in the San Francisco Bay Area in Silicon Valley, where technology was practically invented, and it became what it is today because of Silicon Valley. So I have the knowledge, the technical knowledge, at least if not better than the level of any millennial. I will challenge any millennial on their computer knowledge, and I'm a Gen Xer, born in 73. Okay. They are termed as tech-savvy, innovative, excessively optimistic, open-minded, and supportive individuals. I disagree. That this is a millennial writing this. You're not being honest. Either that, or you're a huge exception to the rule. Yes, most of you are tech-savvy, but I don't think most of you are excessively optimistic. No, not at all. Most of you are not open-minded, you're closed-minded, and most of you are very selfish and not supportive individuals. So this is not an accurate depiction based on what I've seen and many other people have seen. But this is a millennial writing this, a millennial female writing this, and you'll see at the end it shows her name. And I looked into her. Yeah, she's a millennial female, okay? Also, they are so accustomed to easy access to technology that it takes a lot to impress them. Well, okay. Why would it take a lot to impress them just because they're so accustomed to easy access to technology? What does technology have to do with impressing someone, right? That's just my opinion there. I'm nothing more to add to that. As a result, millennials have very high and often unrealistic expectations from their employee experience. That is true. That is absolutely true. You hit the nail on the head there. But a lot of companies here in the San Francisco Bay Area, Facebook, and at least in the past before, Twitter was purchased by Elon Musk recently, Twitter and Google and YouTube and Facebook and all these other companies, these high-tech companies, they practically have adult versions of playgrounds on their campuses, and they allow their employees to wear jeans and t-shirts to work, and they made it a very casual environment, because that's what the millennials want. The millennials don't want to wear a suit and tie like we all used to have to do back in the days. The suit and tie era is gone. The millennials changed that. Okay. And that might not have been a bad thing, but I'm just saying, the millennials are not suit and tie people. They're not. They're not, at least when it comes to work. Okay. But corporations are largely failing to live up to this unique set of expectations. Well, why should they have to live up to the millennials' expectations? If the millennials want a job, they got to do what the employer says, not the other way around. This is the entitlement behavior that I've talked about regarding millennials forever. This is resulting in a higher level of disengagement among the millennials. Well, they're pouting because they're used to getting in their way because of the way they were raised and handed everything, right? At least most of them, were handed everything since they were little kids. So now they expect the same things from their employers. And because there are so many of them that behave this way, employers almost have no choice to conform to the millennial wants and needs, or they're going to have no one to work for them, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It really is. What do millennials want? How to engage them? Work-life balance. Well, who doesn't want work-life balance? It's not just a millennial thing. It's a people thing. Okay. Let me check out the chat here real quick. My lady in the chat says, hit the thumbs up, guys. Pretty please. Yes, thank you, babe. Appreciate that. All right, let us continue. The profound focus on work-life balance is probably one of the most significant changes brought in by millennial employees. Work-life balance is the buzzword among millennials, and many of them are successfully balancing their work and life. Well, from what I've heard and seen, they'd rather not work. They'd rather just play all the time, right? But honestly, who doesn't want a work/personal life balance? I've talked about that for years out here as a Gen Xer. Everybody, regardless of what generation you come from, should have a good work-life balance, right? Okay. And so why do the millennials feel that they deserve special treatment regarding having a work and personal life balance when that's the way it should be with everyone? And that's the way, it should have been looked at all this time before the millennial generation, right? Now, there's a lot of truth that, before the millennial generation, a lot of people would be asked to work overtime. And, back in the days before the internet, sometimes people work, an extra shift or a weekend shift or a double shift, right? Which affects having a great work and personal life balance. Maybe the millennials were saying, hey, look, we want to work a 40-hour-a-week job. We'll come to work. We'll bust our butt. But we want to be off definitely by a certain time, no matter what. We work 8 to 5. We're off by 5. We go home and we have our nights and our weekends off, right? Okay. And we don't want to get, caught up in a world like the Gen Xers and baby boomers did, where we're working our life away just to survive. I can understand that, right, to a certain extent. But the millennials basically came out and basically said, well, you either do this or we're just not going to work. And so many of them were doing that. It's like they conglomerated together as a big group and said, you either give us a work and personal life balance that meets our needs, allow us to, dress more casually than wear suits and ties, and make the work environment a playful environment at the same time as professional, or we're just not going to work. Now, if I were to go and do that back in the Gen X days or the boomer days, they would have given us the finger and said, you know what, you do it our way or hit the road, Jack. So this more so to me is millennials being catered to because their parents raised them, by handing everything to them, and they enabled this piss poor entitlement behavior, and that's stemmed over to the workforce as well. It's forced employers to cater, to the needs of the millennials beyond a reasonable level to me, right? That's just my opinion. Let's see here. The profound focus on work-life balance is probably one of the most significant changes brought in by millennial employees. Work-life balance is the buzzword among millennials, and many of them are successfully balancing their work and life. Most job functions today do not require employees to be physically present at work every day. So millennials can work from home and not have to, get up a few hours before work, cook breakfast, and groom themselves, shower, get dressed, drive to work, sit in traffic for half an hour or an hour, get to work your 8 hours, and then drive back from work, which you could be sitting in traffic for another hour, right? And then you have to come home and get to bed by 10 o'clock and do it all over again, right? They want to just work from home and have it easy peasy, further enabling the entitlement behavior, right? Most people during my era were not working from home. Now everyone seems to be working from home, right? Now, if you're an entrepreneur running your own business, different story. Your home is your home office, right? But if you're working for someone else, you should have to go into the office. And I will say, honestly, as much as I don't agree with a lot of what Elon Musk has done at Twitter, I do agree that those employees that were working from home during the COVID days should return back to work. But a lot of them, didn't want to, and they ended up losing their jobs. I understand that, right? Let's see here. The traditional 9-to-5 work hours are starting to become an outdated concept. The technological shift to mobile communication has wholly defined the work culture. Related article, The Influence of Technology in the Workplace. We can maybe go over that another time. Technology on the one hand, has enabled millennials to work seamlessly from anywhere. On the other hand, it has also made millennial employees highly approachable. Well, that's because you're giving them what they want. You're basically just allowing them to do whatever they want. They are always available and do not mind working during off hours because they're probably, not as productive during the regular workday at home as they would be if they were in the office. That's why Elon Musk wanted the employees back in the office. When you are working a corporate job and you're working remotely from home, no one can see what you do, right? No one can see what you do. All they can see is, how productive you are by the end of the day, right? And if some employees will say, okay, I got this and this done, and let's say they got it done in 4 hours, but they just pretended like it took 8 hours, how is the employer going to know that, right? So in essence, they work 4 hours, they get paid for 8 because they got the job done faster. How about do something else and be even more productive and then maybe earn a bonus on top of that, right? Yeah, babe, I'll bring you on after the break. Babe? Give me a second here. My lady wants to come on, and I'm going to bring her on after the break. We're going to take a break in about 10 minutes or so when we get about halfway through here. Checking work emails on the phone during holidays and vacation is norm for millennials. Well, wait a minute here. So everyone, regardless of their generation, checks emails all the time on their phones. How much more difficult is it to check your work email when you're checking all your other emails? On the iPhone, you can add as many email accounts as you want. You can also go to all mailboxes and skim through your email in literally 2 minutes or less, or 1 minute or less, or 30 seconds or less, depending on how many emails you have. This millennial that wrote this blog article is making it seem like, millennials are working off the clock and working, during holidays and during their off time. They're checking emails. Well, how difficult is it to do that when they're already doing that for their personal emails? Come on. Come on, that doesn't take any more time. That's just reaching right there. That's just reaching. Work-life harmony has become a reality because of flexible working options like work from home, telecommunication, and remote working. No problem working remotely as long as you're productive. But how can you see how productive somebody is unless you're right there with them, managing them, right? Too early to say, but they might have just perfected the dream of the work-life blend. Well, ma'am, you're a millennial that's writing this, so you're biased about it. This is biased. This is more biased than unbiased. There are a few unbiased things in here, but this is really biased. I ain't buying it. Employee engagement. Okay, let's see what she has to say here. We're going to go on break after we go through this part. Employee engagement. With millennials dominating the workforce, employee engagement must become the top priority. Well, the millennials have been scrutinized for being the least social, generation. Although in here, she's going to say otherwise, right? They're the most antisocial generation in history. So how can you come out and say employee engagement must become the top priority? Okay, when they don't want to engage, they don't even want to go to the office. They want to work from home by themselves, with no one looking over their shoulder like a boss. Millennials are constantly choosing perks and culture over paychecks. While accepting a job offer, they look at the complete job profile and company culture. Hold, what's that? Okay, so what go to the chat? My lady's saying go to the chat. I'll go to the chat when I get there, babe. The ghost of whoosh whoosh, is that what you're saying? The ghost of whoosh whoosh says, you're missing the big picture. You're not seeing the forest from the trees. Well, be more specific about that, whoosh whoosh. Babe, let me say something in case you're listening here. Just because somebody chats in the chat, I'm not going to always get back to them right away. I'm going to check the chat every 5 to 10 minutes. And if I, catch something through my screen here before that time, that's all good. If something is ban worthy, you can ban them. I mean, it is what it is. Millennials don't need money like Gen X or the boomers. Well, are you saying that millennials are living off their parents and they don't want to work? I mean, more specific there, Whoosh. I respect your opinions. I'm just curious. And I'm sorry you got timed out, man. I apologize for that. I mean, are you saying that their parents pay for everything and that the only reason why they're trying to pretend to work is because they want to appear like they're a productive part of society? Or I'm just kind of wondering, like, a little more specific, man, and I'll get back to you in a second. Millennials are constantly choosing perks and culture over paychecks. Well, boom, bingo. Maybe you make sense on that. Well, you do make sense on that, whoosh, whoosh. Millennials are constantly choosing perks and culture over paychecks. There's no other generation in history that has chosen perks and culture over paychecks. I'd rather have less culture and perks and have a bigger paycheck. And I could reinvest that on my own. But I think what Whoosh Whoosh is saying makes a lot of sense. Maybe they don't need money. Maybe they're being taken care of by family. Or maybe they find a Gen X beta male provider. Or maybe, some of the women get lucky and find a decent millennial that is working and making good money and is taking care of them. I mean, yeah, I get it. While accepting a job offer, they look at the complete job profile and company culture. They have incredibly high expectations from their employee experience. They want to feel connected to the work they do and also to the organization they work for. No, they want to control the organization. They want to control everything, right? They even want to control how us Gen Xers and baby boomers behave. And we're the ones that gave them birth. Come on. Wow. So the level of entitlement of this generation is just surreal. It's astronomically huge. Organizations must take the necessary actions to build an engaged workforce. Must? This is coming from a millennial woman that wrote this. They must, or they should. Or how about rephrase, ma'am, and say, hey, I really wish that these organizations would do something different to build a more engaging type of workforce. But she's saying organizations must take the necessary actions to build an engaged workforce. Ma'am, the level of entitlement in your statement there is asinine. It is. They should constantly update and improve their policies and practices with the best trends around the globe. What? The best trends that make your life more easy or easier than it already is, more entitled than it already is? Come on. Get real here. Let me see how far we've gone and what do we have left here. I'm going to, should I take a break now? Yeah, I'm going to read one more section here, then take a break. So that way, there's not as much left when my lady comes on. Because she's probably a little bit tired, but she wants to get in on this because she has a millennial daughter. My lady, when we were driving earlier today, driving around, doing some errands, I forgot what she was saying. She said something really funny, and it just slipped my mind. I'm sorry. If I remember it, I'll mention it later on. Career growth opportunities. The Ghost of Woosh, which I'm trying to answer, but Nightbot. That's okay, man. There are now more singles than marrieds. You need less money if you're only taking care of yourself. Well, that's true. Yeah. No, millennial women are more career focused than marriage focused. And then they try to lock a guy down in their early to mid 30s, and then it doesn't happen because they waited too long. And then they're still single in their late 30s and early 40s. They're still trying to lock a guy down. And now their biological clock is pretty much expired, and they end up being alone because they focused more, more on their career during their prime years than on family. They didn't balance it out enough. Yet they're talking about work and personal life balance, and they're being very hypocritical about it. Wish you're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, the divorce rate's also 60%. So, why would, most people want to get married? Now, my lady and I are cool. We're old school. We believe in marriage, and that's going to happen between her and I. But most people, why should they even get married, right? Rach AM, hello. How you doing, Rach AM? Welcome to the show. Is this your first time here? Tell us a bit more about yourself, Rach AM. Career growth opportunities. Millennials are highly career-oriented. No, they're highly lazy and controlling and want things their way. They're not highly career-oriented. They do it, especially the women, because they feel it's what they're supposed to do, not what they want to do. That's what I've seen, and that's what most other people have seen. And they are always looking at the bigger picture. No, they're looking at what's best for them. They're not looking at the bigger picture. This is complete. This is horseshit. With every job experience, they want to learn, grow, and evolve. Okay, I mean, that's a given for anyone. Who doesn't want to learn, grow, and evolve, right? But many of these millennials, they go from job to job to job to job to job because they're just not happy They're not happy that they have to work. They're not happy that the environment isn't perfect, that the dress code isn't exactly the way they want it, right? That the office isn't big enough for them, right? That there isn't a workout facility or a big enough lunchroom, right? It's ridiculous. They are terrified of the word stagnant, and they want to have a progressive career trajectory. They are also job hoppier than baby boomers. I just said that in different words. They are also job hoppier than baby boomers because, like Woosh was saying, most of them have money. Their parents will take care of them, or someone else will take care of them to the point of where they're not worried about money. They know they have so much to fall back on that, they don't have a problem quitting their job, taking time off, and looking for another job. A lot of them are very irresponsible. And again, very, very entitled. Okay? Employers must be ready to facilitate career growth opportunities to retain millennial employees. Every employer facilitates career growth opportunities. You just have to earn them. You have to be a good person, get along with the other employees and management, and show up, do your job, and keep your fucking mouth shut, and you'll get promoted. So what's the difference here? What's the difference here regarding what the millennials are asking for and what's already been on the table forever in the workforce? Companies should maintain a culture of transparency and fairness. The corporate world's always been shady. Deal with it. Okay? Learn to deal with it. Right? That's just the way it is. The government's shady. The corporate world's shady. I mean, I'm not saying, every person's shady, but it's more about who you know than what you know. And it's more about, are you coachable instead of being the best qualified, right? You got to learn that, and then you'll be able to survive in the corporate world. But the millennials want special privileges above and beyond what the rest of us have had in the past. It's ridiculous. Organizations should also invest more in learning and development programs. Okay, I'll agree with that, but not just for millennials, for everybody. Also, organizations must acknowledge that the personal growth of the employees is equally important. I mean, that's the way it should have always been. Why is a millennial writing this saying that also organizations must acknowledge that the personal growth of the employees is equally important? I mean, isn't that how it's always supposed to have been? Companies now offer attractive perks to employees, such as sabbatical from work to pursue education, sponsoring enrollment, special training and courses, e-learning platforms, etc. Yeah, they offer that because they're going to put you on a contract and say, look, you work for us for a year. We'll pay for you to get this training or this degree while you work here. You can go to school at night. And we'll pay for this as long as once you get your degree, you work for us for 5 years before you can resign, right? At least I hope they're doing that, because if not, then all the millennials are going to do is basically use that employer for a free education and then take that education and work elsewhere. And then that employer screwed the money they invested in that employee to get that certification or degree for a higher promotion that was going to be at that workplace that paid for that education. Got to hold them accountable. You got to hold them accountable. I hope they are. All right. This is where we're going to stop for right now and then take a quick break. I'm good, thanks, says Rach AM. Elias says, hello, Rach AM. Welcome to the show. All right, folks, we've got 10 in the box and we have 5 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up. Please share this out. And make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select all notifications. Let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music here. Go back to full screen. Give me just a second. Boo-doo, boo, boo-doo, boo-doo, boo. There's one. There's two. Let me see here. There's three. And there's four. Music is all queued up, folks. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away and take a quick 8 or 9 minute break. And then when I return, my lady will be joining me on the panel for the rest of the show. She's got a millennial daughter and a Gen Z son. So this is about to get more interesting. So stick around. Stick around. Stick around. Round. We'll be right All right, we're back. Welcome back to the show, everyone. My lady just popped on the StreamYard. We'll bring her on the bit right after the intro back to the second half of the show. Hope you're having a good one. Lots more show to come here. Yeah, I want you to all feel it, though, first. Feel it. Feel that. Feel the energy. Energy up. Energy up. Energy up. Energy up. Yeah. The song is called Temps by the group Riot. Wow, what an interesting name for a group there from the YouTube audio library. Yeah. But let's just get right back to it. We have lots more show to go. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Live here on YouTube, live on Coach Eli 2. Authentic live streams, the most positive place on the internet where you can learn a little bit of this and a little bit of that and better your lives personally and professionally. All right. Tonight we're discussing why the millennial market is most difficult to penetrate. One more time, we're talking about why the millennial market is most difficult to penetrate. If you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. I started going over this blog written by a millennial woman, and no disrespect, I say this respectfully, it's been written in a very biased way. And my lady will be joining me on for the second half of the show to go through the second half of the blog, and she's got a lot to share. So we look forward to that. But before we get to that, I want to remind you folks that our channel here and our other channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, and our coaching business is primarily funded through crowdfunding and your donations. So if you feel that you're getting value through the content you consume here, please consider making a donation in any amount based on the value you feel you are receiving. There are many ways you can do so. You can go to the bottom of the chat while we're here live and hit that $sign. You can hit the super chat or super sticker. Once this goes to a replay or on any other live stream replay, once the video is finished processing, or any other pre-recorded video, look for the heart below the title that says thanks. That's called the super thanks. You can send a donation in the comments section, and YouTube will post your highlighted comment in the comments section along with your donation amount. If that doesn't work, you can also donate via PayPal or Cash App. Nightbot's been sharing my PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes in the chat. On PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli. On Cash App, you can go to $the real Coach Eli and make your donations in any amount. And folks, we would definitely appreciate your donations right now. That's what keeps the content going. The more people sponsor this content, the more we can give back to you. And that's what we want to do. We want to be here for you as much as possible and help you through your days and help you get the best possible grips on your lives personally and professionally, so that way you can accomplish whatever it is that your hearts desire. All right, so let us do this. Let me go ahead and bring on my beautiful, wonderful, amazing lady. Babe, welcome to the show. Big round of applause. Hi, baby. Babe, are you there? You're muted.
No,
are you there?
I'm not.
Oh, there you are. Now I can hear you. Hi, baby.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Hold on 1 second. Now, that's better.
Okay.
Now
How's it going, baby?
Not better. It's going good.
Okay. That's great to hear.
Yeah, life is great.
Life is great. I know you were listening to the first part of the show. By the way, is the microphone sounding okay, baby?
Oh, the microphone sounds fantastic.
Well, that's good. I know you're a bit tired, just to make everyone aware, but you really wanted to come on and discuss this topic because you do have a millennial daughter and a Gen Z son, and you've been
it's not that I just have them, but I've also been around all of their friends. So I've been around a lot of millennials, a lot of different millennials and Gen Zers.
Okay.
So a lot of different personalities, different.
Babe, I can't hear anything you're saying. You keep cutting in and out. I cannot hear what you're saying. Can't hear what you're saying, babe. You're cutting in and out.
Am I there?
You go. You're back now. You're back.
Okay.
For some reason,
I don't know.
Are you running? Are you running many apps at the same time? You're gonna have to close those apps down because they're going to be interfering with your audio. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and close everything down. And okay, everything else is shut down.
Yep, everything else is shut down now.
Yeah, what's probably happening is if you're running like the YouTube app or Facebook Messenger and stuff like that, their audio is taking over and cutting out your StreamYard audio.
That's exactly what I was running. That's exactly what I was running. Plus my my text messages.
Right. And what happens is
those were exactly the ones that we're running. So
right. And so they would try to send you audio, and then boom, it would cut you off the StreamYard. You can only run StreamYard when you're coming on a show from your phone. But anyway, we should be good from this point on.
We should be good now.
Yeah, Rach in the chat says, Rach AM, hi at Respectfully, Maturely, and Professionally. Hey, Rach, tell us a little bit more about yourself. How'd you find out about the channel? Yeah, and if you have any questions, please feel free to get them in the chat, and we will respond to you as the show goes on. We plan on probably being on another maybe 30 to 45 minutes max. That's how long it'll take to get through the rest of this blog. But baby, did you want to share any thoughts regarding your experiences with your millennial daughter's friends and stuff? Like, have you noticed this huge entitlement behavior? Like, did you see this happening back in those days? And how did it make you feel? Like, what were your thoughts about it?
Well, I actually have the best experience because I worked at a facility that was ran by my future son-in-law. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter works there. Her best friend for 25 years works there, or
Okay.
worked there. And another one of her friends for 20 years worked there.
Okay.
Another friend of 15 years had worked there. I mean, so these were all girls that she had grown up in elementary, junior high, and high school with. So I knew these girls inside and out. And then I went to go work there. And so I got to be around them and I got to see them on a daily. And I want to say that this group of girls, they grew up to be very mature millennials and very hardworking. Yeah, they would complain, when they had to work or when something was not going their way, but they still did their job. But you know what? Who doesn't complain when something doesn't go their way? You know? That's a
Yeah,
human trait.
I agree with what you're saying, babe. This is the only issue I really have with millennials is the level of entitlement that they feel they have or deserve. And they don't even realize that they're coming off so entitled because that's all they've been raised to know. So if
Yeah,
the
and these
parents
girls
go
didn't
ahead.
come off being entitled.
Okay.
They just and even some of the Gen Zers that worked there, that I wasn't around, they just happened to work there, but they weren't friends with my kids or anything.
Yeah.
Um, I just happened to meet them but they were very well-rounded
Hmm.
and mature, responsible, and I didn't see anything wrong, or immature with what they were doing or obnoxious or irresponsible. And so I've actually had a pretty good experience with millennials, um, like in that sense.
Yeah.
But now, and that's in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
And I know you were talking about that last night, or I don't know if that was on a walk or if that was last night, the tips. But
Yeah.
oh, oh yeah. So that's when I was saying, like, that's why my daughter, she is in cosmetology, so that's hospitality.
Hmm.
Um, so she does work for tips, you know,
Okay.
and a lot of her friends are in the serving industry or bartending industry, and so they work on their tips too. So when they go out, they make sure that they take care of whoever's taking care of them because they know how hard they're working.
Yeah. There's always an exception, baby, to every rule. Let's just be real and say, look, regarding every stereotype, there's always going to be an exception to every rule. And it sounds like your daughter and her friends, for the most part, are the exception. Now, you have to also understand that because the majority of their millennial peers are enabled and or have the entitlement and they have that enabled behavior, some of that's going to rub off to them as well at times, but it seems like they have a little better grip on it than their, other peers that more so suit the stereotype, right? So does that make
Yeah, I
sense to
mean, there
you?
were
Okay.
sometimes I would go out to dinner with them at another facility, and when we would throw down the money for the check, the amount that these girls were leaving for tip, I was like, are you sure you guys want to leave that much? And they're like, yeah, we're absolutely sure.
Okay.
Because we know how it gets broken down.
Yeah. Well, let me jump in here and say something real quick because we got to get to the blog because we want to get through it so we're not here all night. We have a long day tomorrow, and the last person I want to disappoint is my Gen X counterpart, you, baby. But
yeah.
Hey, I'm being baby. I love you. I'm being nice, and we're having fun. But anyway, here's what I've noticed, and I don't want to get too specific, baby, for obvious reasons. We got to be careful of what we say, but I will say this as best as possible. From what I've noticed on YouTube, and through other people, that Mr. Tumnus is back again with another $50 super sticker. Oh my God, baby! Oh my God, you're not going to see it yet because it's a minute delay. Oh my God, Mr.
I'm shocked.
God.
Thank you so much.
God. Mr. Tumnus,
blown away.
I figured you were gonna take the night off. I'm gonna stop a second here. I don't know what to say.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
Say thank you.
Oh, I said thank you. I am.
That's all you can say.
Mr. Tumnus, God bless you. I'm at a loss for words. I'm shell shocked. Like you know where that came from, baby. You know where shell shocked came from, right?
Yeah.
Where was that from, baby?
You tell me, baby.
Hero and a half shell.
Turtle power.
Turtle power. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hero. Mr. Tumnus is a hero and a half shell, baby. Baby, are you there? I can't hear you. Baby?
Yes, I'm here.
There you are. You cut out for a second. Maybe you were muting. Thank you again, Mr. Tumnus. We're going to go ahead and add another $50 to the donations today. And we are now at $110. Excuse me a second here. I've got an itch on my nose. That's an itch for good luck, baby. We're going to continue to thank you throughout the whole show, Mr. Tumnus. You really, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you again for the $50 super sticker. What I was going to say, baby, and I got to say this, as best as possible without saying too much. What I've noticed out here on YouTube and through other people that work in a typical service industry, and from what I've seen and heard, that the millennials are the worst tippers on the planet. They feel so entitled to the service that they're getting that most of them, or many of them, feel that, people that provide a tippable service don't deserve a tip.
No, you're right.
And here's the thing, right? I see this here on YouTube. Like, I look at my stats and my demographics, and I'm not complaining here because people don't have to pay us to talk. But I mean, we do provide, whatever people want to see it as. For me, it's more educational content. We do our best to entertain people at the same time while providing the educational content. They call that edutainment out here on YouTube. Have you heard of that phrase, babe? Edutainment. It's it's entertaining. It's entertaining education, and that's the way I like to provide my education. Because if not, it gets really boring and stale, and then no one is going to want to watch it, right? Yep. But out here on YouTube, I've received a few tips or super chats or donations through Cash App or PayPal from millennials, but primarily it's been Gen Xers and even some Gen Zers and baby boomers. But for some reason, the millennials, and listen, I'm not trying to be critical. We do have millennials that do support us here in other ways. And I'm not being critical to them at all or anything. I'm just saying that I don't know what it is. I think they feel that they don't have to, to tip even if they're getting value. And why do you think that is, baby? Why do you think the millennials are a generation that feels tippable services shouldn't be tipped?
Well, I think a lot of them are the millennials that don't work, the ones that are able to stay home or sit on YouTube all day and do whatever they want to do. Not have to go out there and actually physically work. Because I know even in the retail industry, those kids, they work hard. And, if somebody were to tip them, they would be very happy about that.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
would make them work harder, you know? And so, I mean, if you look, it's like there's tip jars at Starbucks, there's tip jars, at Jamba, at all of the like little places, the little ice cream shops and all of that stuff, like where you usually see the millennials or the kids working, it's where they get their
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
So, I just think that it's the kids that don't have to go to work, that the parents don't encourage that drive.
I can
But
understand that, baby, but here's what I don't understand. And what you're saying is completely correct. And I can understand that, right? They should be working, but if they're not working and they have minimal money from their parents to buy things, I can understand them not tipping. But I've seen other millennials come out here on YouTube and brag and boast about the money they make and the job they have, and they don't tip, right? And that's where
uh-huh.
that's what actually makes me wonder. I'm not upset and I'm not hating or anything like that. I'm just saying if you're a millennial that's making very good money, you consume content, you support a content creator, and you're not throwing that content creator a bone every now and then to show your monetary support, to show how much you value their content. Isn't that a level of selfishness and entitlement there, baby? Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I just know, like, we've been out and about and we do things and we've been like, I swear you talk to everybody when we're out.
I love to
We're
talk. I
at the
can't stop.
grocery store, we're at the line at the bank, or anywhere. You just
How's it
talking to
going?
anybody.
I just
Yeah.
don't. I just don't say hi to the hot chicks anymore, baby, because I've got you. So
Well,
you know
you
what I mean.
spark up a conversation with anybody.
I
But
do.
like, and we've been seeing dashers out there and whatnot, and we DoorDash and stuff like that. And so, and I know that we always give a good tip, and I know we've been curious, so we've been asking. And um, they say it's like hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes it's good and sometimes they don't get anything.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
usually like
We always tip.
when you're going to the college campus when you don't get anything, or you're clearly
Yeah, no.
going to a frat house or sorority house or something.
Yeah, we've heard so many stories, and that's why when we DoorDash or use any other type of delivery service, or when we go to a restaurant, we I always go into it. I was talking about this earlier on my walking stream. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday when we were talking about that. It was a different topic
Oh
today,
yeah, going
but
into it like
yeah,
already
when you
thinking about the tip.
yeah, I go when I take you out to dinner, baby. Number one, I'll look at the restaurant, or I'll know the restaurant, and I know what the food costs there. And let's say between food and drinks and dessert and appetizers and all that, let's say it's $100, right? And that's that's on the low end. I mean, it's a lot
That's
more
on the
now,
low
but
end for us.
no, I know, yeah, yeah. But let's just take $100 for example purposes. then I'm already thinking, okay, there's tax, and then there's going to be, 20% tip at least. That's at least $20 on top of what we're spending, right? Unless I get really shitty service, then I'll give 10 or 15%. Even if you get crappy service,
I don't
as
give
long as you get your
anything
food.
I really don't give anything under 15, even if it is the
Yeah,
worst service in the world.
yeah. I think there's only one time where I left no tip, where we were just so neglected and our food took like an hour to come. It was at a Lions restaurant. The Lions chain no longer exists anymore. This one server was basically catering to a table of hot chicks, and my friends and I, he was neglecting us. So what I did was I got a pen from one of my friends and I wrote on a napkin. I said, "Here's a tip. Actually taking care of your table will get you one." I was really, really, really ticked off. Information Man Show's in the house. Peace and respect. There's a 1-minute delay. Information Man Show, and anyone else that's here right now, from what we say to what goes out. Welcome to the show, Information Man Show. How's your holiday season going, bro? Got to make it over your neck of the woods and support you, man. It's just been very crazy, but I hope all is well in Sacramento, California, where you are at, bro. Thank you for being here. Well, anyway, baby, let's get to the blog here, because we really got to get through this here. We really, really got to get through this. So, Thank you. Yeah, thank you again to Mr. Tumnus for your $50 super chat. I believe that's $550 total over the last 7 days from Mr. Tumnus. And again, thank you earlier today to Coach Eli for your $10 super chat as an early birthday gift. Thank you, brother. We greatly appreciate you as well. Okay, so cultivating leaders in the workforce. I'm going to read through each section, baby. Then we'll do our commentary and go to the next. According to workplace trends, 91% of respondents expressed a desire to lead. So the millennials want to be leaders. Nearly 50% of them also said that they believe leadership is important to them. Okay, who wouldn't want to be a leader? That's a good thing. Millennials often equate leadership with empowerment. They have extreme opinions on most matters, and they like to take charge of things. Well, they want to control everything. I hear that, baby. Baby, everything that you're ouching and fiddling around? Yes. Yeah, you may,
my
you
back is hurting.
That's okay. You can mute during those times if you want, but that's okay. Just letting you know it's all going through. Hot mic, baby. Hot mic. Let's see. Millennials often equate leadership with empowerment. Well, that's part of the problem. Like, the millennials are some of the most woke people on the planet, especially, many of their women. But even some of the men are just living in a woke culture. And yes, when you're in leadership, there is power that comes with that, but it's earned power, and it should be power that you should feel humble to have. It shouldn't be about empowering you. It should be about earning a promotion because of your leadership skills and your ability to do the job, but they make it all about empowerment. Okay. They have extreme opinions on most matters, which is true, and they like to take charge of things. They also show a high inclination towards leadership skills, such as communication, relationship building, problem solving, and decision making. A lot of this, to me, is coming from the biased, author that's a millennial female. So, baby, what are your thoughts? They also they have an extreme opinion. They have extreme opinions on most matters. They also show a high inclination towards leadership skills such as communication, relationship building, problem solving, and decision making. I have not seen most millennials, have the best communication skills or relationship building skills, problem solving skills, and decision making. I think they all struggle. I've seen them all struggle.
I agree with that.
Most of them struggle.
I agree with that.
So then, why do you think the blog author is writing this? I mean, go ahead.
Are you done?
I can't hear you. Yes.
Okay. So that first line, millennials often equate leadership with empowerment. Well, they don't even have to have any leadership in their life to feel empowerment. The fact that they're alive gives them empowerment. And I am
That
going
wait,
to equate this.
say that again one more time. Repeat it for everyone else out there.
The fact that they're alive gives them empowerment
Amen.
or the
Continue. I just had to hear
feeling
that again.
of empowerment.
Right.
I'm going to equate this with the relationship with my daughter and myself. So, as we all know, it's been estranged for many years, much longer than Eli and I have been together. This has been going on and off for probably about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. So yeah, it really started about 4 years ago. And that's when she made a decision about herself that she was going to take time for herself, and she didn't care how it affected anybody else in the world. She didn't care if it made anybody else sad or, anybody else mad or anything else. And she cut everybody else out of her life, like
Mm-hmm.
myself, her grandmother,
Yeah.
her friends, everybody. And she just concentrated on her and her new boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her empowerment to say, this is my choice. I can do what I want. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to think or feel anything for you guys right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's not right. That's not what a family does.
Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think she did it? What do you think the real reason is, baby? Is it because the guy she's with, she sees him as the man that's going to be able to provide for her for the rest of her life or their life? Or, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to really better understand what's going on uh, uh, in the heads of these millennial men and women. Are you okay?
Oh, I just kicked out my cord, and my legs were crossed and I uncrossed them and it kicked out the cord from my phone.
Okay. Okay. So you're back.
Yeah,
You plugged
but
it back
no,
in.
I'm
You sound
fine.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine now.
Okay.
Um, no, I don't think it has anything really to do with that because I think every generational woman is looking for that. I
Mm-hmm.
know I was. I know my mom was.
Okay.
Pretty sure your mom was. You know,
Yeah. It was a different time
I
and
think it,
place when my mother got married because it was in the old country. Things were still pretty much traditional, and women were just getting their rights at that point. So
yes.
it was, yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. And then my mom, that was more when women's lib was happening. Um, I mean, she was born in 55, so,
Mm-hmm.
by the time she was getting out there,
Mm-hmm.
um, that was that era. And then there's me and then there's Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, and it's just different generations and different ways of thinking, but we all had to look out for ourselves and we were all looking to make sure we were going to be taken care of in the long run
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we had learned from our prior, you know. My mom saw
Yeah.
that my grandmother had my grandfather, and you know, my grandmother saw that her mother had her father, and all of that. That's what we learned. That's how it was. And I grew up, my parents have been married, what did I say, 45 years now?
44 years is what you told me the
44
last time.
years. 44 years, yeah. That's right, because I'm 47 and I was 3 when they got married. I mean, that's what I grew up with. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that before we continue?
No.
Okay. Yeah, give me just a second here. I was responding to a text message real quick. All right, let's continue, baby. That was well said. Millennial. Okay, I already read that. Uh, while engaging millennials in the workforce, employers must emphasize creating future leaders and not just productive employees. The best way to cultivate leaders among millennials is by modeling and mentoring leadership skills early on. Well, shouldn't that be the same way for all generations, all people? Why is this
That should
all
be for
focused?
all employees.
Yeah, my whole point of this is you've got a millennial blog author here that is catering this information to millennials, where this is something that holds true for all people that are in the workforce, right? Why does this have to be
Yeah.
especially, put out for one generation? Like the way this blog was written makes me feel the blog author is super entitled. Like you tell me what you think, how that sounds.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think every person that applies for a job, I don't care what age you are,
Mm-hmm.
is entitled for promotion and to be modeled for a promotion and mentored for leadership. Like, I don't think we should just be training a certain generation because they are a certain age and they're going to last longer than another generation, that's bullshit.
Yeah, you're probably right. Give me just a second here, baby. Give me just 1 second. Give me just
Like,
one
are you
second.
really going to tell me, like, okay, so if I go in for an interview and another person comes in beside me that's 27, that they're really going to give the 27-year-old a job just because she's 27 and they think that she's going to live longer than me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's bullshit.
It is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So,
Because these millennials are dumb and they do stupid shit.
yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? You got a lot of these millennials that troll on YouTube. A lot of them have trolled me, and they just make up the most obscene things, and try to make something out of nothing. And I just don't understand that. Is that just because they're just unhappy within themselves? It's a direct reflection of how they see themselves. I mean, do you see a lot of these millennials as feeling like they don't have a purpose, and so when they don't have a purpose, they've got to try to destroy other people's purposes? Like, what are your thoughts about that, babe?
Oh yeah, definitely. When somebody is miserable in their own life, their main goal is to make other people miserable.
Mm-hmm.
It makes them feel better,
Yeah,
you know? If
yeah.
somebody else if can feel oh, I did it again.
Well, how
Hold
are you
on.
doing that?
Oh, hold on. I have my legs crossed. I'm just sitting. and I have my legs crossed and the phone is here. And then when I go and uncross it, it catches the
The
cord.
wire. Yeah, it's a long
Yeah, the
cord.
wire.
Yeah. Yeah, keep the wire off to the
Yeah.
side or do the best you can
Yeah, I
with that.
know.
No, what really before we get back to the blog, what really really just makes me laugh is when a lot of these millennials, especially the millennials that have come at me out here on YouTube, take things way out of context, things that are absolutely not true, and they try to present them to other millennials that are trolling us or trolling me, and they're leading them to believe that it is true. It is the most comical thing that I've ever seen.
Like
And
what?
so, well, I mean, I'm not going to share any specific examples, baby, because, the bottom line is, we've risen above all this stuff and we don't need to get into
Yeah.
specifics. I'm just saying in general, this is the behavior they have. And it's because they have so much free time on their hands, or they're lacking something else, or they're being taken care of by somebody else, and then a lot of people have come and said, oh yeah, Eli, you're being taken care of by your family. People still say that. They think that we're being, taken care of like by my family and stuff. And that's certainly,
That's ridiculous.
that is ridiculous. Right. And you and I, we've done well. Yes. Money's been kind of tight this year. So we started to do a different side hustle from home. We have another thing that we're doing from home, which we're never going to mention because, people will try to scrutinize it or destroy
Never
it.
gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
No. And what we do, it does pay pretty decent. And, yeah, it's anonymous too. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing, right? But anyway, let's continue, baby. Let's see here. We already read that. Pushing diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Okay. Well, the millennials, especially a lot of the women, are pushing diversity. A lot of the women have become severe radical feminists, and I hate to say it, baby, no disrespect to your daughter, but she's got the Rosie the Riveter. We can do it. Tattoo on her forearm, and it's like, oh my god. Anyway, millennials are the epitome of global citizens. I'm sorry. That's the most entitled thing I've ever heard in my life. This millennial blog author writes, millennials are the epitome of global citizens. Really? You could have fooled me. They acknowledge, encourage, recognize, and appreciate diversity because they are more socially aware. No, they lack social awareness more than any other generation in history. They're just the most vocal about it. They make the most noise about it because they have so much free time on their hands, right? And they want attention.
Because none of them are working.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say none of them are working, but the majority of them are working an easy, peasy type of job, or some of them aren't even working, or if they're working a part-time job and they're being supported by family the rest of the way and stuff like that. But for this blog writer to say they're the epitome of global citizens, I mean, come on, seriously, be a little humble, have some humble pie. If you're going to write on your own generation, at least keep it real. When I speak about myself and my generation, I don't say that we're perfect. We made plenty of mistakes, right?
Oh gosh,
but
yeah.
I'm not going to come out here and say that Gen Xers are the epitome of global citizens. No,
god damn it, because we raised these fucking monsters.
Yeah. Social media has brought the whole world closer in ways that were unimaginable by previous generations, thus making millennials the most culturally and racially diverse age of all time. Things have been diverse forever. The only reason why millennials feel they are the epitome of all this is because during their era is when the internet exploded. The internet was already out, but the internet that we know today, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these social media sites blew up over the last 10 to 15 years, right in the height of the millennial generation. That's why it appears that way. But it has been this way far longer than that. Yes, have things become better in the modern world when it comes to racism and diversity and equal rights and discrimination laws? Yes. Is it 100% better? No, but it's a lot better than it used to be. But that doesn't have to do primarily with the damn millennials. We've been working on that for years. Like these millennials are trying to take credit for work that we started as boomers, Gen Xers, and before that time. And the level of entitlement in that statement, I'm saying, baby, honestly, this woman, I don't get triggered anymore on YouTube, but this woman is triggering me right now. Like right now, this really, really bugs me. But go ahead. Do you understand?
We'll move on then. Let's move on.
But do you have a statement to make regarding that? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Nope. Let's move on.
But you don't have a comment to make on that?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't.
You don't have an opinion?
Not on that.
Okay. According to Glassdoor, 67% of job seekers weigh diversity as a factor before evaluating companies and job offers. Well, I mean, who doesn't weigh diversity? Who doesn't weigh all this stuff before getting a job, right? Like most normal people that are good, kind, and caring people are not going to care about, ethnicity or, gender or anything. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, they're as long as these people are nice, whether they're a man or a woman, whether they're gay or straight, lesbian, bi, trans, whether they're African American, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever. Most people, it doesn't matter. What matters is, are they good people to work with, right? And I think the millennials...
And are they good at their job?
And are they good at their job? And are they easy to work with, easy to get along with, right? This has been taken way, 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 way too far, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Their outlook towards diversity is very different from any of the previous generations. They're making too much of a big deal out of it. They're wasting all that time.
Mm-hmm.
We all care about diversity. We all care about, being treated fairly and equal. Why do we have to make such a big stink about it for millennials? Why? This is the way it is for everyone, including millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, baby boomers, and soon to be the alpha generation, which they're only 10 or 11 years old at the oldest now, but they're getting there. We're going to see how they're going to handle this over the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be interesting, baby, and we're going to be right here to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby, let's continue because wow. They see diversity as the infusion of new ideas, different perspectives, and varying experiences. I'm going to leave that alone. Let it speak for itself. Go ahead. You have something to say about that?
I just want to know, do the millennials think that just in their generation is when diversity happened?
Right.
Because I remember going to high school and elementary school and junior high and having African American, Hispanic, Asian, even Indian people in my school. Mm-hmm. White people, like we were diverse as fuck. So I don't know what this woman's talking about. Diversity has been around forever, honey.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's not just exclusive to the millennials.
It's not, but she's making it sound like they were at the forefront of diversity. They were at the forefront of changing the job market. They were at the forefront of everything. Like, no, you kids are here because of us. You're here because of what we did to get you there. We put the stepping stones for you folks to easily walk up them. And this is what we get.
We literally built the steps.
We did. We built the steps with our bare hands. And now you're saying that you built the damn steps?
Our parents gave us the blueprints. We built the steps, and now you're walking up them.
And you're taking credit for building them and walking up them, right?
Yeah.
The level of entitlement just in this blog alone.
And arrogance.
Arrogance. Yeah, great. Baby, I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Well said, baby. I could not have said it better myself. I could not have said it any better myself, baby. Should we continue? Shall we continue, baby?
Yes.
Millennials are not only welcoming, but also enthusiastic about having diversity. So this blog author say millennials are welcoming. I don't see them welcoming anyone but other millennials that agree with their entitled agenda. And them being enthusiastic
I
about...
I haven't seen so many race riots in the last couple years than I have in my generation when I was growing up.
Right. But also enthusiastic about having diversity. We've had diversity longer than your generation. Okay? Yes.
Longer than you guys have been alive.
Right. Now, was there more racism? The laws were more so put into place in the 60s and 70s. Okay? And yes, it took some time to get to where it's at today, and it's still not perfect, but it's better than it was. But you guys, the millennials, did not lay down the foundation for diversity, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is just, I mean, honestly, baby. Wow. Wow. Let's just continue here, okay? Organizations are bound to see a massive increase in diversity and inclusion initiatives in the workplace. Like, those were going that way.
Like that hasn't already happened?
Well, it's been heading that way, whether it was the millennial generation or not, baby. The millennials are trying to take full credit for changing the world for the better.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
I was a nurse. Okay? And I worked in a hospital. You want to talk about diversity in the workplace? You had every ethnicity you could think of. You had Ethiopian women, you had Filipino women, you had, obviously American women, you had African American women, you had Asian women, like everything. And men. I shouldn't just say women, but any ethnicity you could pull out of a hat, you could find somebody in the hospital of that ethnicity. So, and that was freaking years ago. Honey, I'm sorry. This diversity in the workplace has been going on for decades.
Yeah, give me 1 second, baby. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I had to get back to somebody behind the scenes. All right. Yeah, we're all good. Let's continue here. Challenging and engaging work. 30% of employees said the lack of challenging work is the prime reason for leaving a job, Randstad. To keep your millennial employees engaged and invested in their jobs, organizations must create interesting and challenging careers. How about, isn't that how it's supposed to have been for everyone, not just millennials?
Yeah, I was going to say, if I get bored at a job, I'll leave it.
Me too. Me too. Like, why is this catered just to millennials? Why isn't this
She's
catered
just
to
blanketing the millennials that
right?
they're
And
the
that's what
only
they
ones
do.
that need this.
Right. Millennials are exceptionally good with technology. I said earlier, I will take any millennial and challenge them with my technological skills. I'm a Gen Xer born in 1973. I was at the forefront of technology before most of you were even born, right? So here's the thing. You want to come out here and say that you millennials, you made the internet what it is? No, you didn't. You didn't even build the damn internet. We built the damn internet. The boomers and the Gen Xers and the government, before you were even born, built the internet. We set the foundation.
Before you were even a twitch in your daddy's pants.
Before you folks were even born, we laid the foundation to give you what you have today. You have the nerve to come in here and say that you're exceptionally good with technology and this and that. You're taking all credit for our work. Learning new computer languages or developing new skills doesn't seem like an uphill task to them because we gave them the tools to do it.
Yeah.
74% of millennials are ready to learn new skills or retrain to remain employable in the future workforce of the future. Having some level of challenge is preferable by millennials over boring and mundane jobs. Well, it's the same for Gen Xers and Boomers and Gen Zers. And it'll be the same for the Alpha generation when they start working. So what's the point? Where's your point? On top of your head? Where's your point? Right? Right. That was funny, huh, baby? I made it funny for once, right? I do have a sense of humor at times, right?
Yes,
as a result,
you do, baby.
Thank you, baby. As a result, certain job roles that have become common in recent time didn't even exist a decade ago. Okay? Well, that's because you millennials whined and complained and withdrew from the workforce in large numbers to the point of where corporations had no choice but to do it your way, or they would have no one to hire. Because it's like all the millennials went on strike at the same time. So when you go that far and get your whole group of people to withdraw, then something has to be done. Just ridiculous to me, baby. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Nope.
All right. Oh, here's one right here. Giving back to the society. Let's read this because this is what I've heard, and especially a lot of women are activists and stuff in the modern world. And I encountered a lot of these women in the dating world before I met you, baby, and in the past and in between, past relationships. And it never worked with any millennial woman because of this here. Millennials are showing a higher sense of social responsibility. Bullshit. Are you kidding me? Millennials are showing a higher sense of social responsibility. Baby, what are your thoughts on that first line right there?
I think they try to act like they are.
But it's just an act. It's not genuine.
Yeah.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
They are redefining the work environment, and one of the ways is through reinventing philanthropy. Ho, ho. Millennials look for perks and benefits that allow them to make the world a better place. Okay. Well, we've all been trying to make the world a better place. How about we all work together? Boomers, Xers, Gen Y millennials, Gen Z, I generation people, and even now the new Alpha generation. Why can't we all work together to make the world a better place? Why is it the millennials?
I'm sorry. Did we not have the song "We Are the World"?
Yes.
And there's a line, "Let's make the world a better place," in that song. So we already tagged that. That was us.
Yes.
We're already making the world a better place before you guys were even born.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one, right?
Yeah. There are people dying.
Oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life. The what, baby?
I don't know.
The greatest gift of all. Yeah. Yeah, what was that line that you were we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. What was that line you were talking about?
Oh, what did they say? Make a better world.
Just you and me. It's true, we'll make
Yeah,
a
no.
better day, just you and me.
Yeah, but what did they say in this blog? Hold on.
In the blog, it says they are redefining millennials look for perks and benefits that allow them to make the world a better place. So they're looking for perks and benefits through their job to make the world a better place that has nothing to do with their job. And
that
nothing
was
wrong.
What I was saying.
Yeah,
so
nothing
that
wrong.
Line.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with companies having, programs to support diversity and making the world a better place, but you can't make it the primary focus of your job. The primary focus of your job is the job itself, right? And you can't sit there and force companies and say, hey, look, if you don't have all this diversity stuff in place and you don't have all these perks and benefits that allow us to take some time to focus on this while we're at work, then we're not going to work for you. Like, the level of entitlement there is just asinine, baby. It's just asinine. It is. It really is.
Bye.
Right? Is that what you were trying to say there a second ago? Or I just want to make sure I understood you.
Well, yeah, okay. And it says to make the world a better place. So
yeah.
And in that song, it says something about we'll make the world a better place, just you and me,
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's continue here. They acknowledge their responsibility in bringing change and are optimistic about their abilities. Well, you can be optimistic all you want, but it's more about the fact that you folks feel entitled to having all these benefits at your workplace when none of us ever, came close to having any of these benefits. We never expected these benefits. We just wanted to go to work and get paid. Yes, we wanted to enjoy, and we want to enjoy what we do, but, we would go to work to get paid to provide for our families and ourselves. We didn't go to work because we wanted to create if you want to create a nonprofit organization regarding diversity or whatever else, right? Go for it. But why put that on the hands of your employer? Seriously, is it your employer's responsibility to do anything more than give you a job and pay you for it and give you some benefits, some health benefits, and maybe a 401k and a pension? What more do you want? Do you want the world handed to you on a silver fucking platter? I mean, baby, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Should we continue?
Yeah.
This, again, has a lot to do with digitation. Yeah, the internet. Because the millennials think they created everything. It's kind of like, the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. The Greeks think that they invented everything, and they didn't. They did a lot, but they didn't invent everything. The millennials think they invented the world, the internet. They made the biggest difference in the workforce. They changed the food industry. The millennials think like they've done the best for this world since its inception. And it's just not. It's not true. Millennials are now more aware of the problems. They think they're more aware of the problems. Except they're not aware of the biggest problem, them. That's the problem. Yeah. You're not realizing the biggest problem is you. We're not trying to be critical. We're trying to help you. Do you agree, baby?
Well, yeah, let's keep reading.
They understand the role of community participation in combating social and environmental issues. What does this have to do with your job and getting paid for doing a job?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They are more than willing to do their part. Hey, you want to go volunteer at a nonprofit or start a nonprofit and do good? Great. But if you're going to force that upon your employer, if I was your employer, like, listen, I believe in diversity. I believe in all these things myself. But if I'm running a business and you force this upon me as a stipulation of wanting to work for me, I'd give you the bird. Literally, I'd give you the bird. You know what the bird is? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's continue here. You agree, baby. I assume you agree.
Yes.
84% of millennial employees gave to charity. That's a bunch of BS. I do not believe that for a second. You're sitting here and tell. Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying 84% of millennials, men and women, they give to charity.
Mm-hmm.
And 70% donated more than an hour to a charitable cause. I ain't buying it.
That I won't buy. But as far as just giving to charity, that's easy for them to do. Because when they're at work, if at their work, whether they're working in an office and they have, for instance, my ex in his office during the Christmas season, they bring in like the Christmas trees, and you can pick the things off to buy toys for kids or Christmas gifts for kids. And so he'll pick 3 of them every year. And that's how he donates to charity.
So what you're saying is the employers basically make it easy for the millennials to donate a little bit of their salary back to a good charity. It's because the employers basically throw it right in front of their face. Because if you were going to say,
guilt trip,
right? Well, exactly. So is it real? No, it's horse shit. Here's the thing: if this did not happen through the workforce, I bet you that number would be 20% or less, baby. Maybe 15% or less. Because
well, yeah, but I mean, that's why I'm saying I believe that is because I know, like, they do put it out there in front of you, and it pulls at your heartstrings. I know when I worked for, not the company I worked for last, but the one before that, around, I think it was around Veterans Day, or right before, like a month before, we would, we had these snacks by the front register, and anybody that bought them, all proceeds went to, the troops and stuff like that. And, so you could donate that way. And a lot of employees just would buy the snacks like for their breaks and just donate that way,
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I think, it is pretty high. And especially in business offices like where my ex works, like those people, they just will just throw their money at them. Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on a second, baby. Give me a second here. Give me a second here. All right. Whoosh Whoosh in the chat says those charities like BLM and I think you meant to say Antifa, right? I know you probably might have gotten timed out. I don't know if that's a blocked word on YouTube. It's not a blocked word on my end. You're right, Whoosh Whoosh. And here's the thing. I don't necessarily have a problem with the BLM movement or Antifa. I understand the purpose of anti-racism and all that stuff, right? I mean, we should all just love each other for who we are, not based on age, race, sex, national origin, sexual orientation, right? I think a lot of these millennials take it a bit too far because, and especially the women, that are the radical feminists regarding this, I think they take it a bit too far because they love the attention. It's all for attention. And what gets the most attention is drama. You stir up the pot and it gets attention. And so, that's those are my thoughts, baby. I mean, what are your thoughts before we continue? We're almost done here.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah. We can move on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Organizations should therefore make more efforts to connect millennials to various social and environmental causes. All right, we just went through all that. Let me see here. We're at the last paragraph. So, folks, please get your final questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 5 or 10 minutes. 88% prefer a collaborative work culture than one driven by competition pay scale. Well, millennials want to work as a team because it's easier to get things done, and each person has to do less work. Now, I believe in collaboration as well to a certain extent, but I also believe, baby, that each individual should be able to carry their own even without a team. If you can't carry your own without a team, how can you carry your part within a team, right? Does that make sense to you? I can't hear you.
Yes, it does, baby. Okay. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, now I can.
Yeah.
Now I can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
Like the level of entitlement and the level of laziness to the point of where millennials now will not work unless they work in a group fashion. Like, I understand working with groups or in groups at times, but if you can't do work on your own most of the time, then are you really working? Like that's a great statement, isn't it? You tell me. That's a great point, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? Like, are they all door dashing and like just rotating phones? Like, I don't know what that means. Like,
no. What that means is in the corporate world, baby, when let's say you have different departments. Let's say you have a department that does marketing, right? Instead of them working at their cubicle individually and strategizing, they work around a group table and they strategize together as a team, and then they go out and do things as a team, right?
Oh,
now okay. There's nothing wrong with strategizing together at times and collaborating at times, but you also have to be your own individual and have your own individual thought, right? And you have to make your own individual effort. And what I feel this is saying here, and what it's doing, it's basically allowing millennials to not have to do work on their own, and it's teaching them that, hey, if it isn't in a group fashion, then we don't have to do it, or we're not able to do it. It's not teaching them how to be independent on their own. That's the best way to put it.
Okay, so this is the way I see it, is that this is kind of how they were brought up in school. And this is how their teaching style was. A lot of the teachers put them into groups and into teams. And so I think that that's how it's moving forward into the grown-up world with them, because that's how they learned as children.
Yeah.
They're not independent thinkers.
Yeah.
They're group thinkers.
Yeah. And I've said it before in the past when I've done many shows on millennials, especially more so on our other channel, baby, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. I used to do a lot of millennial show topics before we even started dating. And I would always say that the millennials have the group thought or the group think mentality, right? And a lot of them are not. Are you okay? Okay. I think she may be having an asthma attack for a second or something. Just give her a second. But what I've said before is that a lot of millennials have the group thought or group think mentality, and they're not individual thinkers, or they don't feel comfortable, working individually. They only want to work in a group setting. My lady should be back any second here, so she muted. Give me a second, folks.
Damn allergies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was like 4 sneezes in a row.
I had that earlier today, baby. Like you heard me. I sneezed hard. Yeah, you know what I think it is, baby? Because it rained. All that stuff has been getting washed away, and it's been up in the air. So the allergens have been super duper high. It's just beginning to dry out right now, and so I that's why you've seen me sneeze like a mofo lately.
Yeah.
But let's continue here because we're almost done here. Let's see. So again, millennials are collaborative, supportive, and they are excellent team players. They perform better when they are in teams. They are also more welcoming to ideas and input coming from different people with diverse outlooks and backgrounds. Well, who isn't? It's not just millennials. I'm open to all that. Baby, you're open to all that. Other Gen Xers and Boomers and Gen Zers are open to that. We're all open to that. Why are we being singled out to the millennials for something that everyone is open to? Why? I mean, it's a fair question, right? Enough said, right, baby? Should we continue? Because unless you have something to add to that.
Ready, set, go.
Millennials have lived in a hyper-connected world of social networking. No kidding. And they think they invented it. No. We created it for them and for everyone, not just them. Socialization is an integral part of their lifestyle. Okay. They have an innate need to exchange their views and ideas and seek a similar environment at work. They want things their way and only their way. Okay. They want to make their bed and lay in it, right? Okay. They want to go out and work and get tipped, but when they go out and use a tippable service, they don't want to tip, right? So it's a very hypocritical thing. It's a very what's the word? It's a two-faced type of situation with them. Hence, cultures and work environments that promote collaborative.
Hypocrite.
Yeah, they're hypocrites. That's right. They're hypocrites. That's what I was looking for. Hence, cultures and work environments that promote collaborative work will quickly become the norm. Well, we'll see about that. Let's see when the millennials get older, how many of them are going to be, running these businesses that are run by Gen Xers and Boomers still, right? We'll see what happens. Anything you want to add to that, baby, before I read about the author here? And I looked into her. Okay. Anything else, baby? I can't hear you.
No, I'm good.
Okay. About the author, this article is written by Darshana Dutta. She works as a content creator and digital marketer at Vantage Circle. She writes extensively on trends around employee engagement and transforming company culture. For any related inquiries, contact blah, blah, blah. Okay. And you're a millennial and you're catering this to your generation, right? Where you should be writing to the masses. Like, I don't cater my content to just millennials. I cater my content to everyone because everyone is important. And no generation is better than any other generation, right? But all I'm going to wrap up by saying here, but all I'm going to do, I can't even talk. I'm just going to wrap up by saying this, which is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I've never seen any other generation have such a level of entitlement to every single thing that they've been practically handed to on a silver platter by previous generations, Gen Xers, baby boomers, and even before that time. We laid this road and foundation for you folks to have what you have today, or you wouldn't have it. And I really wish that they would take more time to be more humble, eat some humble pie, and show their respect and share their appreciation for what we built for them, what we slaved to give them. That's my final thought, baby. Anything else you want to add to that?
No. I mean, I just want to say, actually, I do have a final thought. I want to say that there are many, many millennials out there that are very, very good millennials and have been raised well and they are doing well for themselves. I know many of them. And I don't want to blanket any of this. This is not a blanket statement on millennials. This is just to point out the ones that are doing what this author is talking about. So I want people to know that. And then the other thing I wanted to say is I just wanted to go out and say I'm very devastated by the loss of the dancer, Stephen Twitch Boss, from So You Think You Can Dance. Tragic loss the other day. He's always been so happy and just brought light and life onto the stage whenever he danced. And to hear the circumstances of his death makes me very sad, but I just wanted to say rest in peace, Twitch.
Yeah. That that's really sad when you have it all and you take your life. I just don't understand. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, people go through things, I guess, mental illness or whatever. I mean, sometimes you can have all the money in the world, you can have a good-looking wife, great kids, and you really don't know what's going on.
That's exactly what he had. I mean, his net worth was $5 million. Oh, just a lonely $5 million. That's not much, right? Wow.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We don't know how much in debt he was. We don't know what was happening with his wife and other
but
family
that's
members
not,
behind the
I could
scenes.
look up his wife's net worth because she was also part of the show and she was also making money.
That's
But
fine. Maybe she's bringing in the same thing. What was his spouse, Allison Holker?
Allison, are you looking it up?
Yeah, she has a net worth of $2 million. So he was worth 2.5 times.
He was worth 5, and she's worth 2.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you can have all the money in the world and have a hot wife, and things can appear to look good on the camera, but you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You really don't know what's going on. And a lot of times, people will put up a front for the camera and, for the media and all that, right? Like you and I, baby, we keep it real. We've had our moments. Listen, look, my lady
I'll
and
be
I.
real on camera. I'll let people know when I'm pissed off.
No, of course. And I respect you for that. And I'm sure many people out there respect you for that too. And same thing on the flip side for me. But, like with us, we have our moments. We're not perfect. Sometimes we go at each other, even live on the air or behind the scenes, but we love each other. And like you and I, we talk things out. We don't let things build up. Like I will not go to bed. If there's an issue between you and I, whatever it is, I will not go to bed until we resolve it. Right?
Oh, I know.
Well, but baby, here's the thing. I want to resolve it because I love you. And most of the things, if not all of the things, are just stupid little petty things that we just need to talk about and work through. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any final thoughts, babe, before I put you backstage, and then I'm gonna just start to wrap.
No, that was my last thought. I just wanted to make sure I gave props to Twitch tonight because he was one of my favorites on So You Think You Can Dance. I did get to see him in person. My daughter and I and my mom, we did get to see them when they were on tour. So it was nice. And I've always been a super huge fan of his. So I am very sad for the loss and glad I got to give him some props tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He deserves it.
Absolutely, baby.
Other than
I
that,
back you
no,
up.
I'm good.
I'll just say this before I put you backstage and have you say bye to everyone. And you don't need to respond to anything, baby. I'll just say this. Some things just never change. Just going to put it that way. Some things never change. And
church right there. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. All I can say is this, is that God has a plan for everyone. And God has a plan for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all, baby. All right, baby. Say goodbye to everyone, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Going backstage. All right. That was my wonderful, beautiful, amazing lady. I'm going to start to wrap this up, folks. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you once again to J-Rom earlier for his $10 super chat as an early birthday gift. Greatly appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. And it's been a real pleasure to have you here. And it's really nice to see us getting along. And I'm proud of, the changes you made for yourself. Getting out of the trucking industry and working on something that fulfills your purpose more, bro. I mean, it's just beautiful to see that. And Mr. Tumnus, not once, but twice today, once earlier in the, on the Walking with Purpose stream, your $50 super sticker. And again, tonight on the in-studio stream, another $50 super sticker for a total of $100, $110 in donations today. Between all, Mr. Tumnus, and I'm sure he's the Clive account as well that sent $200 earlier on in the week, $550 in donations this week. Thank you. I'm mentioning that again because it's a lot of money. And again, I don't know who you are. I have an idea of who you are, but God bless you. Thank you so much. I really wish I knew who you were, so I can do something for you in return. But anyway, time to wrap these up, folks. Like I said, tomorrow my lady and I are heading back to her former neck of the woods to get some more of her stuff. And I'll be back for a show tomorrow night. It probably won't include my lady because she's typically tired after those long drives. Oh, my lady's playing with the dogs. It probably won't include. Hold on a second. My lady's playing with the dog. She thought I was off the air, and she's getting the little dog to sing. And I'm getting a little distracted, so I told her to just hold off for a couple more minutes. But she probably won't join me on the show tomorrow night because she's typically tired after, the drive there and back. But again, this Saturday, December 17th, I will be doing a couple of shows for my birthday, one in the morning as a walk, and then the main show, Coach Eli's 49th birthday bash, will be happening sometime in the mid to late afternoon or early evening this Saturday, December 17th, 2022. That'll be my 49th birthday. We're going to have some special guests on the panel, and we're just going to do it up for a few hours. So, put that on your calendar, and please feel free to join us. With that being said, have yourselves a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.